not talked about on the channel, which I think I should, is I feel like people have asked me about this, and I recorded a video when I passed the EPPP, but I never like talked about it really after that. And so I feel like as part of my like growing up journey, I want to share about that. So I took the EPPP 3 times. There's no shame in my game about that. I think I got a 485 on the first test, a 495 on the second test, and then a passing score beyond 500 on the third test. And I think in some reasons why I haven't shared about it is because like, I think in some ways I was upset about that I had to take it 3 times, but I also was just like, it just is what it is. Like I was so close on the first 2 attempts that like, I know the stuff. I was just real anxious. And so you know what I did? Got on some medication and learned some coping skills, which was really helpful in the test. And so the anxiety medicine really helped because I knew the stuff, but I just was so anxious in there. Like, so things I did to manage my anxiety the 3rd time I took it. I took my anxiety medication as prescribed. I had the opportunity to take the test in the afternoon versus at 8 a.m. in the morning, which was really helpful because I got to go to Chick-fil-A that morning. I studied a little bit before I went, and like I felt really cool, calm, and collected going into it versus like, I feel like when I wake up early, I'm a little anxious, more anxious in the mornings. And so like getting over there, getting to the testing center, getting like there's traffic in the morning, all of that. So I tried to set myself up for success by taking the test in the afternoon. I think the test started at like 12:30, which was perfect for me. And then I took a lot of breaks. I did not have any accommodations though, but I have heard people getting accommodations more and more for the EPPP, which I think if you can get accommodations for anxiety, ADHD, extra time, any of those things, that would be really great. But I did not have any accommodations. But I knew that I didn't need the whole 4 hours or whatever to take the test, but I knew that I was going to need breaks to manage my anxiety. And so you're allowed to take as many breaks as you want, but your time keeps going. And so I took, I think I took 3 breaks. The first break I took was like almost immediately after I sat down because I could feel myself getting anxious, and so I went to the bathroom and put my hands in ice and cold water and like calm down that way. That is one of my favorite coping strategies, is just like temperature change. I love putting my hands in some cold water, putting my face in ice water. It helps so much. And so I just did a lot of deep breathing. I did a lot of box breathing, which I teach my kids how to do, like sensory wise, where you're like rubbing a box onto your leg. That really helped me. And I took tons and tons and tons of notes. Like I was writing stuff that I knew I didn't need to write on the like scrap paper. And so that really helped. Things I did to study. I studied a lot because I knew it was a lot of material, and obviously I took it a couple of times. So like, take this with a grain of salt. I don't know exactly how long like people would need to study, like if you need 3 months or 6 months or whatever, like that I can't really tell because like I didn't. So at first I was in a study group where we were like studying independently but like together, which was really helpful for the accountability of like, I need to sit here and study. We were studying Saturdays and Sundays for like 2 or 3 hours every weekend, and then I also was studying during the week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. But then as I got closer to this last time of me taking it, I was really studying like 3 hours on Saturday, 2 hours on Sunday, and then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday studying from like 8 to midnight-ish. The thing that helped me the most with studying was taking practice tests. Like I read the material and that was kind of helpful, but like it was not nearly as helpful as like doing the practice test and listening to audio lectures. That was really helpful for me towards the end, because I could listen, and then like I made a rule for myself, because I take compulsive notes, that I couldn't pause the audio. I treated it like it was a lecture. And so like I would play a game on my iPad and listen to the lecture and then take notes like as I go, but I couldn't pause it, which is really helpful for me. Like I have to set up some parameters, otherwise I'm like pausing the audio and writing everything they're saying verbatim, which I didn't even do in grad school. So what else did I try? I tried using flashcards. They helped a little bit. And I had physical flashcards, but I also had online flashcards. The online flashcards were much better. And honestly, I think the like notion of just creating the flashcards was really helpful for me studying. I did practice test from PrepJet, I think is the one that I was using. I think Psych Prep too. I just like bought practice tests to use. I also, trying to think, yeah, I think having people to study with was really helpful. For the second time I took the test, I had a friend like try to quiz me, but that just made me more anxious because I was like embarrassed that like I didn't know the answers. And then something that really helped me towards the end was when I was doing the practice test, which I think people tell people all the time, but like I was just like, no, it's not gonna work. But when I was taking the practice test and when I took the actual test, I covered the answers. And so like I'd read the question, answer it myself, and then see which of the multiple choice questions was close to what I had said in my head, if that makes sense. So like multiple choice questions are really great, but sometimes like I just need to guess first. Like I need to see what my brain tells me first. And so that was really, I think in some ways like a very compulsive thing. Like before I was like going through it and like I just needed to answer it myself and then like go through the answers, and then like if I didn't know the question or I didn't know the answer or something didn't come to mind, then I would go through and like start to eliminate the multiple choice questions like that. What else do I think is important to know? Yeah, I think once I got my anxiety in check and I was doing like, I want to say there was like 8 practice tests. I wish I have my EPPP notebook, and so like I had like which days I was studying. I also was going to the gym a lot right before this last time of taking it, because like I just needed a way to get rid of some of the anxiety in my body. And so I feel like that could help somebody if you have like a good stress management thing. But then also like I stuck to the fact that on Fridays I was not doing EPPP stuff, and I never said no to any like socializing. I would just like adjust my study schedule. I think like keeping your life in balance really helped, and like I feel like I like made the EPPP like my whole world, where I couldn't do other stuff, which for some people is helpful, but for other people is not helpful. For me, it's kind of like 50-50. I still was like going out and spending time with my friends. I think at that point I was going to book club, and so finding other things to do with your brain. And like if you're studying on Saturdays and Sundays, like don't spend your whole day studying. Highly recommend using Pomodoros, and like I would play Tetris on my Pomodoros. I feel like I read this study about like playing Tetris is really good for like neural pathways. I could be making that up, but in my mind it was helpful. And so I often play Tetris when I'm stressed, especially after the stressful thing is done. But when I was studying, I would use my Pomodoro breaks to play Tetris or do a word search, or on my phone I have this game called, not my phone, on my iPad I have this game called like Motorways or something, where you're like making roads to help people commute. It's a silly game, but finding stuff that is like enjoyable and stress like reducing as a fun thing to do while you're studying, I think is really helpful. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments. I feel like I ran through that really fast, but I'm trying to get all of my videos under 10 minutes. And so thank you for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Love you so much. I think that you are a wonderful person. And I hope that you drink your water, make good choices, eat today, move your body, spend time with a loved one, connect with a friend that you haven't talked to in a while, and I will see you guys next Monday. Peace out. I love y'all so much. Bye.